Ahmad and Rory had visited Karim Yunus in his home village of Ara in northern Israel, following his release after serving a 40-year sentence for killing an Israeli soldier. The minister explained that the three men took advantage of their status and entered Israel to travel to the home of the terrorist Karim Yunus. In the meantime, at least 38 people have been killed and 87 injured after two buses collided near Kafrin in central Senegal. Head of operation at the National Fire Brigade, Colonel Sheikh Fall, said there were 125 victims, of whom 38 have died, adding that wreckage and demolished buses have since been cleared and normal traffic has resumed. He also said the accident is one of the heaviest death tolls from a single incident in recent years in a country where road accidents are common largely because of a lack of driver discipline, poor roads, and disrepute vehicles. 46 Ivorian soldiers accused by Mali of being mercenaries have returned home after 6 months in captivity. The troops arrived at Abidjan Airport a day after receiving a pardon from Mali's military ruler. Their arrest in the Malian capital of Bamako in July of last year had triggered a bitter diplomatic fight between the neighboring countries. Mali accused them of being mercenaries, while Côte d'Ivoire said that they were flown in to provide routine backup security for the German contingent of a United Nations peacekeeping mission. Mali's military leader, Assimi Goïta, has pardoned the 49 Ivorian captives, citing a memorandum of understanding the two countries had signed on the promotion of peace and the strengthening of relations of friendship, brotherhood, and good neighborliness between the Republic of Mali and Côte d'Ivoire. Abdul Jalil, Osbc News.
We'll now go on a short break. Deadline continues in a moment. Welcome back. Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has again reiterated his commitment to the fulfillment of his campaign promises, just as he called on the citizenry to keep supporting the armed forces in their struggle to defend the country. The governor made a call while speaking at the launching of Emblem, Juma Prayer, and Church Thanksgiving service in commemoration of the year 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Week in Osogbo, the state capital. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adiki has more of that story and other engagements of the governor for the week.
It was indeed a moment of praise and thanksgiving when Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke took the microphone to address the congregation at the special Thanksgiving in commemoration of the year 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Week at the St. Mary's Catholic Church, Ayeto, Osogbo, while commending men and officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces, especially those who paid the supreme sacrifice line of duty. Senator Ademola Adeleke said the country remains what it is today due to their gallantry and selfless services. The governor said he was in the church to seek the face of the Lord in honoring the souls of the fallen heroes and for the protection of their families, friends, as well as relations. He promised that his administration will continue to support the military as well as the families of the fallen heroes while not forgetting those who have bowed out of active service.
We all obey and we support them every time, including their family. We very to make sure we support them wherever they are. Even with their wives, those who are widows, we support them. Our government will support them and keep making them to be important.
Earlier in his homily, the Bishop of the Osogbo Catholic Diocese, John Oyejola, described the day as spiritually symbolic, calling on all citizens to honor and respect men and officers of the Nigerian Armed Forces. He admonished government and the governed to know that God establishes authority and gives power to whoever he so wishes. The bishop enjoined the military to shun corruption, partisan politics, focus on their duty of protecting the lives and property of Nigerians.
Find out the reason and be able to serve the people to make a difference. Make a difference. The only way we can live our life is to make the impression of people's heart that you are here and
The service has in attendance Deputy Governor Prince Kola Adewusi, Secretary to the State Government Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, service chiefs, leadership of the Nigerian Legion led by the chairman, Comrade Oladipo Peter, among others. Earlier in the week, the governor performed the launching of the emblem at the Local Government Service Commission Hall, State Secretariat, where he assured the armed forces of expanded level of partnership in line with the security sector reform of his administration that places welfare of the personnel at the center stage.
Place our debt of gratitude on records to our fallen heroes who paid the supreme sacrifice. The stability of the nation rests on the gallantry, patriotism, and sacrifice of the security and military services. The service is personal of the armed forces, in particular and in many volatile sectors of the society, confronting and containing open and subtle threats to the territorial integrity of our country.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke also joined service chiefs and legionnaires as well as families of fallen heroes to perform the Jumat prayer in Osogbo. The prayer was part of activities lined up to commemorate the year 2023 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. In his sermon, the Chief Imam of Osogbo Land, Sheikh Musa Animasang, lauded the contributions of serving and retired officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces towards the peace, progress and stability of Nigeria. The Grand Imam of Osun State called on the authorities at both federal and state levels to see to the welfare of personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Imam, while praying for Governor Ademola Adeleke to have a successful tenure, called on Muslim faithfuls to emulate the Adeleke family in love and support, noting that God ordained unity and love among mankind. Present at the Jumat prayer were officers and men of the Nigerian Army, Police Force, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Immigration, Customs Services, as well as members of the Nigerian Legion and their families. Also during the week, the governor led civil servants to usher in the year 2023 with an interdenominational prayer held at the parking lot of the Bolaige House, Governor's Office, State Secretariat. Senator Ademola Adeleke directed civil servants in the state to always keep their offices and government premises clean, as he vowed to start paying unscheduled visits to all ministries, departments and agencies of government. He reiterated his resolve to deliver on his 5-point agenda.
Slowly but surely, we shall get to that place now. As we came in today, we saw the governor's office looking good, right? We ain't seen nothing yet. But we are just the beginning. Because I believe, anywhere you go in the state, the first thing that you see, the first thing that represents the state is the governor's office. And governor's office have to do clean, so that people can portray us as a clean state. Never again, or to stay with the dirty again. Or to stay with the clean.
In another development, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has promised to study the recommendations of the Committee on Review of Traditional Institutions in the state. The governor stated this while receiving the reports of the Reverend Bumi Jenyo-led committee at the Imole House.
And I'm sure you have done a good job looking at detailed report that you have submitted to me. I will take my time it, and I'm sure all the recommended details that you're putting there, I'm sure we'll be able to use. We're not here to hurt anybody. We just want to make sure that Osbc State is different from other states. That under my leadership, we make sure that we have rule of law. We make sure that we have due process. Anywhere there's no due process or rule of law,
It has been Abdurrahim Adekleko reporting for Dateline.
Youth of any given nation is regarded as the engine room of such a nation. This is because the size and youthfulness of the population offer great potential for the development of the given country. However, that does not seem to be the case of Nigeria, as reports have shown that a lot of our teeming population, which are mostly youth, are becoming despondent. What could have been responsible for such, and what is the way out? In this Dateline report, Oluchi Amuda examines the growing despondency among the youth in Nigeria. The report.
Nigeria's population is estimated at over 200 million, which makes it the most populous country in Africa and 7th in the world. Reports say the country's population is growing at 2.6% a year and one of the fastest globally. Experts have often seen Nigeria's population structure as a potential economic asset, as the country has the largest population of youth in the world. Information has shown that about 70% of the population are under 30 and 42% are under the age of 15. The question is, if Nigeria has such a robust youthful population, why are there so many young people roaming the streets aimlessly, engaging in vices and not interested in being useful to themselves and the nation at large? A children and youth advocate, Mrs. Aduke Obelawo, attributed the anomaly to the dysfunctional family system in the country, where morality has been thrown out of the window and virtues now considered as vices. She noted that all the behaviors exhibited by the youth, including moral decadence, get-rich-quick syndrome, drug abuse, among others, are as a result of failure of parents, community leaders, religious organizations, and society at large.
For me, the problem starts from the home front. The home front, we don't have time for our children any longer, the way we used to have time for them. And so we left these children on their own. And when children are left on their own, disaster is, coming. We should get ready for disaster. Poor parenting is part of it. And then the society itself. The society has failed these children. Society failed them. They have never seen something good. The system has failed them, government, and the children themselves, they failed themselves. It's like in those days when we were growing up, they would always tell us, remember the son or the daughter of whom you are. We have core values. Core values. These children, they don't have any value. They have no core value, majority of them. We have many of our youths that are serious and know where they are going, and they package themselves for where they are going. But majority had really, by the day, into drugs, into internet fraud, into so many things, and we say they are the leaders of tomorrow.
Speaking in the same vein, a consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Benjamin Egunroti, maintained that the increase in youth despondency in the country was caused by the failure of a system that has not been favorable to the younger ones. According to him, the potential of the youth needs to be properly channeled towards productive ventures through the adoption and creation of human-friendly policies that will help in harnessing the potentials of the youth. He advised the youth not to be weighed down by the numerous challenges confronting the nation, but ensure they get educated formally or informally so as to be equipped to surmount future challenges.
Everybody should be interested in education. You should have a handiwork that should give you a leverage in the nearest future. But nowadays, the main thing that is of interest to the youth is how to be a multi-millionaire overnight. And that exactly is what is giving the world as a whole, and Nigeria, especially, major problem that we have now. Because they want to make money overnight. Because they want